This is the quiet man, Dylan Mantello. Go check out the Fightlete Report, putting out great content. Come check me out March 27th. I got a fight with Triton Fights in Tampa, Florida. It's going to be a good show.
Thank you, Dylan. Take care, my friend.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
Sean Lennon, host of the Fightlete Report, and check out the new Fightlete.com. We've got a lot of great interviews, content up there, exclusive podcasts, and exclusive articles as well. And we're welcoming New York lightweight pro, the quiet man, Dylan Mantello, to the Fightlete Report. He fights Gergo Scuzs at Triton Fights New York versus Florida, March 27th in Plant City, Florida. Also watch Triton Fights on pay-per-view. Trains out the Serra Longo MMA in Long Island, New York. And recently in action at Taura MMA 11, where he won by knockout last October. So tell us how you're feeling. You know, obviously, you know, it's really tough to get fights during this time. You were in a fight last October, and so how did it feel, you know, to be able to compete during this whole pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is thank God for Florida, because they're really the ones leading the charge here, I think, on, opening the country back up. So I think they're doing it the right way. They're setting up some shows. I wound up getting a fight in right at the end of 2020 in September. So in short notice, I think I took the fight on like 10 days notice. Got in, and I train year round, so I was ready to go at the drop of a hat, and stepped in and wound up getting a pretty good highlight reel knockout. So that brought me to 2-0. I'm looking to go 3-0 with this next fight coming up in March, and planning on having a big year for sure.
And you're fighting on Triton Fights. It's March 27th, Florida versus New York theme. So how excited are you to be on that card? And, what are your thoughts about that theme that you're promoting?
Yeah, I'm excited to go down to Florida because it's been pretty cold here on Long Island. It's been we've been hit with some snow lately. I mean, Texas is getting snow, so you can imagine how cold it is here. So we're excited to go down there. I went down there, like I said, in September, so I'm familiar with it. It's a lot easier cutting weight when it's 80 degrees outside too. So we're excited to go down there. I mean, Triton is a local show. I did a lot of my amateur fights with them here on Long Island. So I'm familiar with the staff. I'm familiar with the cage. I'm familiar with, how they run their business and stuff. So, they put on a great show. They have a lot of production value. They have the right things going. So they do some good highlights and commentating and all that. So I think it's going to feel like a home show for me down there, honestly, because, I'm so used to, their setup. I'm excited to go down, enjoy the weather. I have a lot of fans, a lot of family coming down for the trip. They're basically planning the trip around it. So, I think everybody's a little itching to get out of New York, and they need a reason to go on vacation right now. So I'm glad I can be that reason, and we're going to go down and put on a show and have a good time afterwards.
Definitely. I mean, we've seen, Florida has opened up, with not just MMA action. They've got bare knuckle fighting championship and lots of combat sports. So it's kind of like this has got to be where more the destination for most fighters want to go who are outside of the UFC and Bellator.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of gyms down there too, so there's a lot of fighters that they have that they can reach out to. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good. They're definitely leading the charge. I mean, I did my pro debut in Atlantic City. We have a promotion here, Ring of Combat, that's a pretty high level promotion, and they put a lot of guys in the UFC, a lot of champs. Weidman came out of there, Iaquinta came out of there, two of my teammates. So. I was excited about climbing the ranks for Ring of Combat and getting a belt, and working my way through there. But, sometimes life doesn't go by the plan, and sometimes you got to improvise, adapt, and overcome, and, roll with the punches and just find a way to get it done. So Triton, I was lucky enough, Triton reached out to me as soon as they were doing the show, and they said, I sell a lot of tickets for those guys for their amateur shows. And I think I'm on a short list of guys that they're looking to on a card. So I was excited to get the call, and they're going to do their first show. It's a New York versus Florida theme. I think that's perfect. We got a lot of guys from Long Island coming down there. Even some of the guys that I've had fights with on amateur cards. The two gyms like Long Island MMA and Serra Longo, those are two kind of rival gyms here, but we're going to go down together and take on a bunch of Florida gyms. So I like it. I think it's a unifying thing for our community. We got a bunch of guys from our gym, 3 guys from our gym. I know there's 3 or 4 guys from Long Island MMA going down. So it's good for the community. I think everybody really needs to come together right now. Martial arts is a great way to bring people together because it brings out the best in people when you have to work together for such an important cause, because when you get in there, it's a dangerous thing to be doing. So you need to make sure that you have the preparation, that you're prepared and you're ready to go in there, because it's dangerous. So I think it brings out the best in people. It certainly has brought out the best in me. I mean, my whole life training and really dedicating myself to mixed martial arts has been very important for me.
And you're taking on Grego Scuzs. He's 1-1. His hometown area is obviously near Florida, where the fights are happening. So You're coming in from New York. How do you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, me and my teammates are gonna go roll through there and take out some of the hometown kids. We're excited about it. You know, I think, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Gergo. He's from Hungary, training at a top team in Florida. Just a little bit of review on him and checking out. He doesn't have a ton of film, so it's a little hard to prepare for a guy like that. But I prepare for world champions every single fight. My first kickboxing fight, I was preparing like I was going to fight for the UFC world title. And, that's just how I prepare, and I prepare for the worst. So I'm building him up in my mind as being somebody that is an absolute beast. So I'm going to transform myself in the next couple of weeks. And the last few weeks I've been putting in a lot of work to get myself to the point where I'm confident to go in there against anybody in the world at 155 pounds. It's just my attitude going into every single fight. We'll see what he's got. He's got some muscles. He looks like a big guy. He's only 5'8", but he's got a pretty thick dude. We'll see what happens. We both have to weigh in at 155 pounds 24 hours before the fight. And I don't think anybody's going to be bigger than me in the cage. I'm a 6'1" lightweight who's not skinny. I'm prepared against anybody. And I'll sign in the dotted line against anybody. It's actually been hard for me getting fights. So I got to give him props to stepping up in this situation to come fight me. I mean, I'm not an easy fight for anybody. So we'll see what kind of pedigree he has with his career, because, I'm going to bring it.
Definitely. And then when, everything was, shut down, and even if your gym was shut down, like during that time, what did you do to, stay in shape and keep motivated?
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy time. Nobody really knew what was going on. Our gym, we just have a really solid unit of guys that just work every single day, like Marab Davashvili. I mean, he kind of sets the tone for the gym. Aljamain Sterling. I mean, those guys are workhorses, so everybody's trying to keep up with those guys. It breeds a good culture in the gym, but we're used to training every single day, trying to get the most out of every single day. So when they said, you can't go train, we're all looking around like we're going to go crazy. So a lot of us wound up getting some mats and building some home gyms. I mean, I wound in a home gym here. I do some private training too for some guys, and I wound up kind of forced my hand to do something that I really wanted to do anyway. I try to make the best of every situation. We have this new arrangement here. A lot of the guys got together, and you just got to make it work. And those are the guys that are going to rise to the top, because anything you throw at them, anybody could look for an excuse and say, oh, I can't go to the gym. The gym's not even open. Nobody's going to be fighting anyway. So, what am I going to train for? That's definitely not the attitude in our gym. We are training 24/7. We're a really good unit for ourselves. So we improvise, adapt, and overcome, and stayed ready. I train year round. I'm ready at the drop of a hat at any opportunity. So I think that's kind of just how things are going to be playing out right now, especially this level and even at the UFC level. I mean, you got guys dropping out of fights left and right, flying to Las Vegas on a day's notice, all kinds of crazy stuff happening. So the guys that have the consistency right now, I think outside of title fights that they're going to line up months in advance, it's going to be a lot of guys seizing opportunities because of the difficulties. They're the other side of the coin, the opportunities. So I'm staying ready. I'm staying positive. Next step is to go down there and get a highlight reel win against Gergo in Triton Fights. And that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Everybody should check it out. TritonFights.com. You can check out the pay-per-view and everything like that. Now, when you review a fight with your team, what do you feel like improvements that are needed when you go back and you break it down? I know you've been to a couple decisions recently. Anything that you feel like you had to highlight that needed attention?
Yeah, I think I'm always working on my game. We have great coaches. Ray Longo is my head coach, so he's always giving me good feedback. I think keeping it basic for me is just being really sharp with the basics is something that we've been focusing on, using our range. And Ray's really great at giving guys the tools that will work best for them. We got me, who's a 6'1" lightweight, and we got Pumi Nagoda. I don't even know how to pronounce Pumi's last name, but Pumi going in. He's got a CFFC title fight next week, actually.
Okay.
And he's a flyweight. I'm not sure his height, but he's definitely not a heavyweight. So he's a totally different stature than me. And Ray's able to get in there and give him tools that work for him, and come in and give me tools that work for me. So we're blessed to have really good coaches in here who can adapt and really bring the most out of their fighters. So that's one of the best parts of being at Serra Longo, honestly.
And you're being Dennis Hughes by unanimous decision. Talk about going to distance. Obviously, your last fight, big knockout finish. But if needed, talk about going to distance. So the finish is what you're desired the most out of each fight.
And I'm trying to finish the fight every single time. I mean, from the first bell, I might have won a few decisions, but I'm not trying to win a decision. I just ran out of time before I could kill the guy. Honestly, that's my attitude. They put minutes on the rounds and a couple rounds in a fight, and that's all fine and good, but I'm there to really seriously hurt you. And I think when people get face to face with me and get in the cage with me, they find out. And some guys aren't ready for that. Some guys are thinking this is a sport. strictly. And I mean, there is a sports side of it, but it's a fight. I treat it like it was on the street. If a guy's trying to come and take me out, I mean, there's no scorecard and there's no referee and there's none of that shit to get you out of there. So, I take that attitude to the cage, and I think it brings out the best in me, honestly.
And, talk about why Serra Longo is instrumental in your success. I know you've had UFC veterans like Iaquinta, Chris Weidman, who we mentioned earlier, in your corner as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got great guys. I was just, unfortunately, I was just at Weidman had his father-in-law pass away just recently. So it was, it's been a little bit of a hard time for us right now at the gym because, Vinny was a guy that was, constantly in the gym, giving big, great energy. So we were over at the wake last night. So it's definitely hard because we are a very close knit unit. It's a family bond here at Serra Longo and Law MMA. I think that brings out a lot of the best in us too. We definitely want to see each other do well. And, it sucks when you see somebody going through something tough, whether it's with the loss of a loved one or whether it's going through a loss in an MMA career, so we try to push each other every day. And I grew up in college. I don't even think I told Chris this, but in college, I actually had a Chris Weidman poster up on my wall before I even started training at the gym or anything like that. I just started training boxing, and I was like, man, I remember Weidman going and knocking out Anderson Silva. I was like, holy shit, this guy's from Long Island. I went up getting a poster, putting it up in my room next to my George St. Pierre poster. And, I was looking up to that guy for a long time. And, Iaquinta has been in the UFC for a while too. I remember I'm on The Ultimate Fighter. First time I walked in the gym, I saw Ray Longo, and he's a strong presence. So I was a little starstruck, actually. So I think that I just have a lot of respect for these guys because before I really got into fighting, those guys were doing what I wanted to do. It seemed so far away from me. I think that I've proved to myself, and I try to be an example to people around me, that if you want to do something and you put your mind and you really want to put in the work because you love doing it, a lot of doors can open for you, and you find yourself being around people that you really idolize, and this becomes your life. And I try to give that perspective to anybody that listened because, it changed my life, really deciding that this is possible for me and this is what I want to do with my life. And when a person makes up their mind to say that, there's a lot of good things that can happen.
Definitely. And it's crazy to imagine that only 5 years ago is when MMA was, legalized in New York as well. I think for a lot of fighters, who are from the New York area, they didn't have like that hometown event they could go to, or, they'd have to, go out of state to fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I remember when that started. I think it was UFC 258 was the one in Madison Square Garden. I remember I attended that one, actually. I bought a ticket and got down there by myself. That was like right when I came back up from, Louisiana doing my bachelor's degree. I came back up to New York and I found the gym. So I was, training a little bit of the gym, but I was like, man, I got to get in here to go to this first ever Madison Square Garden event. So yeah, I've been lucky. My career started right at, after MMA was legalized in New York. So I think the level here has definitely, the level of competition has definitely increased a lot because these amateur shows even that these guys are putting on, and some of the amateurs at our gym are 100% ready for professional fights. I mean, we are a very prepared group. I think it's been an explosion here on Long Island lately because, we got Steamroller Favola, we got Marab, we got Aljamain Sterling, Iaquinta, we got some young guns like, Charlie Campbell and Dennis Bazooka and Nas, like all these guys in our gym that are, Pumi is coming up. He's got a title fight in CFFC. We have a really good group together. And I think another 6-12 months, you're going to see a lot of these guys coming up because we stick together and we got a good thing going here.
Definitely. And your teammate Aljamain Sterling will take on Petr Yan next weekend. UFC bantamweight title, UFC 259. So how excited are you for him to gain that title shot, and how you think he's going to perform? Obviously, he's fought the best to get there, but you personally, what's your insight on it?
Yeah, I mean, Aljamain Sterling, he's a beast. Aljo's a beast. I mean, he's went through the in that division too. I know Petr Yan has a few fights in the division less than Aljo. Aljo had a few setbacks of a knockout that he had, kind of a fluke knockout a little bit in my opinion, but he's climbed his way back all the way up that, to the top of the heap. And I don't think anybody deserves it more than that guy. Honestly, he has really committed himself. He wound up buying a house out in Nevada, in Las Vegas, just to have another residence over there because there's a lot of opportunity going on with the UFC in Vegas right now because that's the only place they're doing cards. So that's the place to be. So there's a good group of guys out there right now helping him get ready. The gym is we're a team, we're a family. So we have a bunch of banners in the gym of all the guys in the UFC, and they have Weidman and they have Matt Serra on top because those guys have the belt. So Ray wound up moving the two over, and we're going to put Aljamain Sterling right in the middle. So I think he's got his head in the right spot. I think he's visualizing this win, and I think it's a great matchup for him. Honestly, I think Petr Yan, is a boxer predominantly, and Aljo eats up boxers, and it's in that small cage in Las Vegas, man. So good luck to that guy for trying to keep Aljamain Sterling off you. That guy is a freak. He's an anaconda. When he gets a hold of you, like I'm a lightweight, he gets a hold of me. It's like, what the fuck, he is a really strong guy. So I don't know. He's got a lot of skills too. So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Aljamain definitely gets it done. And I think he's going to be reigning in the UFC bantamweight division for a while, because that guy is no easy fight for anybody.
Definitely. And what's next after this fight for you? How eager are you to make up for some lost time? Have you talked about that with anyone?
Yeah, I mean, my goal right now is 5-0 by the end of the year. That would be ideal. I have my wedding actually coming up. I just got engaged recently in December, so I got to make sure I get all my fights in before like November, because I can't be showing up with any injuries or black eyes to wedding stuff. So my goal is 4-0, 5-0 by the end of the year. You got to take it one fight at a time, that's for sure. But, I'm going to go in here and get this job done, try to get to the 4-0, 5-0 and start getting a look for some title fights at local shows, and even, jumping in short notice, possibly on, Dana White Contender Series. That show's given our guys a lot of opportunities. Vola Frivola came off of that show. Dennis Bazooka just had a main event fight on that show. So it's a good platform for our guys, especially with our connections with Matt and Ray. They've been with the UFC forever. So if we have an opportunity, if we have guys that meet the standard to get in there, I think we wind up getting in there, because they know if Ray and Matt are saying, this guy is somebody you need to bring in, it's usually the case that it's going to be an exciting fighter, because we bring it, that's for sure.
And what do you use for recovery after each training session?
Recovery, I mean, I do a lot of stretching and stuff on my own. I actually just started with a new trainer right now for one of my rest days. Mm-hmm. I get in there and do some hip mobility and just active recovery stuff. Give a plug to Underground Movement Underground in Farmingdale, Long Island. I've had a few sessions there, and I've been blown away. This guy, Mike, at the facility is a real deal. He was actually somebody that Ray Longo introduced to me. He said, this guy's been helping me out with some stuff with my body, and I got to recommend him to you, because he would do a world of wonders for you fighters. If Ray says jump, I say how high. I gave him a call the next day. I was like, hey, let me come in. I got a few things with my body that I'd like to address. I've had a few sessions, and I'm very excited about the gains that I've been seeing with him. So I'm going to keep that going. I'm always looking to evolve as a fighter. Just stay active and stay ready. So that's my attitude.
Definitely. And the Quiet Man is your nickname. So, talk a little bit about that. Is that when you tell the audience to be quiet after your knockouts? Because I know you put your finger in front of your mouth when that knockout happens.
I'm trying to create the brand. You got the shush here. So I don't like to talk a lot of shit before a fight. If somebody asks me a question, I'll give them a piece of my mind. But it's wound up being a nickname that I had to give to myself, because nobody would really feel comfortable messing around with me and giving me a nickname in the gym. It's supposed to be a nickname that you get from other people. But I actually watch a movie every year with my dad since I was a little kid. The Quiet Man. I don't know if you know it. It's a John Wayne movie. Great movie. So it's about a boxer who winds up going to Ireland, moving away because he winds up killing somebody in the ring, and he wants to get away from fighting. And then he realizes that, no matter where he goes, he's going to have to fight. He winds up fighting for different reasons and fighting for the right reasons in life. And I think I'm at that point in my life where I was getting a lot of fights and being stupid as a kid, getting a lot of street fights, and just brought me down the wrong road. And I wound up starting to training and found martial arts, and it really changed my life, because I don't have any urge to hurt anybody that doesn't want to get in the cage with me. So it's definitely mellowed me out in my life. It's given me a lot of discipline in my life, and I'll definitely pass it along to my children, and anybody that asks, I would direct them towards martial arts, because it's been a huge impact on my life.
For sure. Yeah, definitely the discipline of masters.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot too. The competition aspect of it is not for everybody. MMA competition is not for everybody, that's for sure. But I'm sure, I know everybody can use more discipline in their life. And if you do have a lurking fight date coming, there's no motivator like that, because you better do all the right things. At least in my mind, anyway. I'm a pessimist by nature, so I prepare for the worst case scenario, and that keeps me very sharp. So I appreciate the effect that fighting has on my life, honestly, because it keeps me sharp, and it makes every day valuable. You can't waste a day in training camp. You get a couple of weeks for training camp, and you better make sure every minute of every day is going towards, making yourself a better fighter, or being prepared to get in the cage. And I think that's what makes life worthwhile for me, really.
And post-fight celebratory, where you go to for pizza, man? Is that what you like to do after post-fight?
Food wise, oh man, yeah, I'm Italian, so I like a lot of the Italian food. Veal parm, I mean, that's my go-to, veal parm. I don't even think about that right now because I'm strict right now. I eat chicken and quinoa and rice and quinoa pretty much. Rice and chicken pretty much every single day. Very strict with my diet, and I don't even mind being strict, honestly, because I don't like the way I feel when I eat shitty food anyway. So I'm definitely gonna have a good time down there in Florida after the fight, though. I have a bunch of friends and family coming down, so I hear good things about the Tampa area. So, we're going to go in, get the job done, and we're going to celebrate and have some good times in the sunshine.
And what can we expect on March 27th, Triton Fights, when you take on Grego?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it. Every single fight that I've been in has been an exciting fight. I'm in there to take somebody out that thinks that they're better than me. And I take that personally. So I prepare like no one else, I don't think. So mentally, at least, I'm in there to kill and ready to die. So expect an exciting fight. I hope this guy is preparing himself because I know I'm preparing myself in a lot. So I hope he's doing all the right things so we can put on an exciting fight because I'm coming in and we got a strong team coming through and it's going to be a great night for us.
Well, we appreciate you being on the Fight Report. The quiet man, Mantello, make sure to check his fight out against Grego at Triton Fights New York versus Florida, March 27th, Plant City, Florida. Also watch at TritonFights.com on pay-per-view. And would you like to plug your social media or anything else? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a follow, The Quiet Man _MMA on Instagram. That's where we're posting most of our content. We got a lot of guys out in Vegas right now doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Aljamain Sterling, getting ready for his title fight. So a lot of up and comers coming out of Serra Longo right now. So I would get on the train now because we got a lot of guys that are going to make a big splash in the coming 12 months or so even. So yeah, definitely give me a follow and give us a shout, and appreciate the support. And anybody that wants to tune in to Triton, there's a pay-per-view stream. Go check them out on Instagram. I think it's Triton Fights MMA. And thank you for the time here today. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Dylan. And best of luck to you come March 27th.
Absolutely. Thank you.